Abdul Latif has been killed by Pakistani forces in Balochistan in a shocking incident in the Maske subdivision of Avaran district in Balochistan. Renowned journalist and Daily Intikhab correspondent Abdul Latif, son of Jan Mohammed, was shot and killed by personnel of the Pakistan Armed Forces at around 3 a.m. last night while he was asleep at home in front of his family members. It is worth noting that earlier on February 28th, 8 young men from the same family were summoned to an army camp from Abdul Latif Baloch's home and taken into custody. 4 were killed initially, followed by other 4, and their bodies were dumped. Amongst those killed was Abdul Latif's son, the young Saif Baloch, and now Abdul Latif Baloch, the top journalist from Balochistan, has been killed in cold blood by the Pakistan Armed Forces last night at around 3 a.m. in the Balochistan province. That's the big breaking news update coming in as tensions and internal turmoil rises in Pakistan's Balochistan province after Mir Baloch's declaration of independence. Now, a crackdown on journalists. Abdul Latif, top Baloch journalist, shot dead in his own home. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, more breaking news update coming in from Balochistan. The Balochistan Liberation Army has launched yet another fierce offensive against Pakistan after its sweeping success on Operation Herof in 2024 when all major highways across Balochistan were seized. BLA has now readied itself for a second wave of attacks. That's the latest breaking news update that is coming in as part of Operation Herof 2. BLA has conducted exercises at least in 51 locations, and this will now turn into a nightmare for Pakistan is what the BLA is saying. That's the big breaking news update. 51 locations are where BLA forces are carrying out exercises in what they are calling Operation Herof 2.0. This is going to be one of the most biggest operationalization of the BLA in the last 1 year after what BLA claimed to be the success of Operation Herof in 2024. They are now going to launch an offensive on all major highways across Balochistan, which was seized last year. That is something which is similar that the BLA is now claiming and challenging the Pakistan army on. That's the big breaking news update coming in from Balochistan. Ladies and gentlemen, top Baloch journalists killed by the Pakistani forces, and now the BLA preparing for Operation Herof 2. My colleague Iona joins us live from the newsroom with more breaking details as the BLA story and Balochistan back-to-back updates breaking in. Iona, what's the latest that we are picking up on Operation Herof 2?
You know, Krutart, this phrase that this is going to be a nightmare for Pakistan really sums up the trouble that is, really creeping across Islamabad's western borders. And Pakistan must really wake up and smell the coffee and realize that the Baloch Liberation Army is not going to stop its offensive against the Pakistani forces after it has repeatedly claimed oppression, from the Shehbaz Sharif government or from the Munir army, for that matter of fact. In fact, just to bring you a little more details about Operation Herof 2, the BLA has carried out more than 71 coordinated attacks at over 51 areas across Balochistan over the last many months, targeting not just Pakistani military convoys, but their checkposts, and essentially claiming control over 20 locations across Balochistan, the very locations where, Islamabad enjoyed and cherished power for the longest time. And now what we're learning is that Operation Herof 2 will just be an extension of the first phase of the operation, wherein the Baloch Liberation Army carried out coordinated attacks in many regions, namely Bolan, Turbat, and in many other regions, Kalat, in fact. We all remember, what happened in the aftermath of Operation Kalat. And this is just all a part of the BLA's overall attempt to let Pakistan know that they are not going to back off. And this time, the Baloch freedom movement is completely in sync. And it's trouble for Islamabad, Krutart.
Interesting developments coming in, Iona, there. Just a week after they released the Jafar Express video that happened in March, now the BLA saying that a nightmare is brewing for the Pakistan army. Shifting our focus now to the BSF. BSF Jawan Purnam Kumar Shaw, who was in the custody of Pakistan for nearly 20 days, was repatriated to India back on May 14th. And now the BSF Jawan has finally returned to his home.